this room is only one portion of the army. There are angels all around us. There are angels all around us. There are angels all around us. So we're about to make a faith declaration. And I believe something in this region, something in this nation, something over your family, something over your finances is about to be broken open by the power of God. Do you believe this? I said, do you believe it? This is what I want you to do. You got to engage your entire being for this. Don't just stand there looking cute. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Where you at? Let me know that you're with us tonight. Welcome to Therapy Tuesday, y'all. Are you glad about it? Man, woo, y'all, tonight's session. Woo-wee. Chosen but still tired. How many of you been tired? You said, God chose me, but I'm tired. I'm tired of wearing this weight. Yeah, I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired of being the strong one. I'm tired of being the one that everybody leaves on. I'm tired. Right? Oh, man. So we got something for you. Y'all know what time it is. It's the brother sister duo. Y'all, we bridging the church and the couch. But I'm telling you, I'm excited about tonight because this is going to be good. So bring your questions, your conversation, y'all. It's not just about us. I promise you it's not. It's about you. So interact with us. Let us know what you need. We should have a special guest coming on. I'm excited about tonight. So can you do me a favor? Like I said, y'all, can you, like if Therapy Tuesday has helped you, touched you, pushed you, got you through something, go ahead and like this. Subscribe to our YouTube. Yeah, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you haven't, also send it to somebody. Hey, girl, you were just telling me you was tired. Bro, you just told me you were tired last week. You're tired of the weight. Tell them to get on. I promise you, they got something that they're going to get tonight. Okay? So, y'all, as I said, Therapy Tuesday. Chosen, but still tired. Oh, but we got something for you. We hope tonight, after we get finished with this segment, you won't be so tired. You'll get a little, ease on you. Oh, look at my brother. He done popped up on me. My God, I tell you. Bro, we're going to bring you in just a second. So, hey, we chosen but still tired. So there's some things that we're going to do. Look, man, I couldn't even surprise with my special guest, but it's all right, though. Y'all, let's listen. Tonight, we're going to do it. But like it, share it, send it to somebody. It's going down. Look, we got my sister, we got my brother, the great Reverend, Bishop, Pastor, all these things. Terrence L. Coate from Perfecting Love, Charlotte. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great conversation on tonight. So, y'all, I'm going to bring my big sister up here. Let her do what she do the best, and I'm going to get out the way. But please, interact with us. Talk to us. This is for you.
All right. Good night. I'm happy to be back home for Therapy Tuesday. And this is a very personal topic because I'm the strong one. So I'm going to speak from experience. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be open. You're in a safe space tonight because I know what it is to be the strong one and be tired. And I also have witnessed what it means to be in recovery and to get through that. So recovery is possible from that. Chosen but still tired. The cost of always being the strong one. As always, we are going to be your bridge between the church and the couch. You need Jesus and you need a therapist. Sometimes God will ordain people on earth to be advocates for your mental health. I always say mental health is my jam, and I'm a mental health advocate, educator, and nerd on top of that. So you do not have to suffer in silence. There are people like me that want to help you and that were created to help you. Please, I invite you to give. Your giving will allow us to keep our StreamYard platform up, to continue to grow and pour back into you. So if you feel led to give, anything is welcome. We have Apple Pay, we have Givelify. Also, we got some merch for you. So this QR code will allow you to get your Therapy Tuesday shirts. And I don't have mine on today, but usually I do have mine on. And we want to invite you on Therapy Tuesdays to wear your shirt. Wear your Therapy Tuesday shirt. A lot of people can't afford therapy. A lot of people don't even know where to start. but to come in a community-based atmosphere like this one and get access to tools and resources might be a good start for someone. And if they see you in your therapy t-shirt, your Therapy Tuesday t-shirt, they might feel led to start here in this community as well. If you want a discount code for your merch, you can get 15% off if you use LFRCI 15. Amen. Someone has requested prayer. Bishop, please pray for peace in my home. In Jesus' name, let Freight Joseph Daniels' peace be in his home, his or her home. Let it be so. Recommendations for success: remain present, participate. And participate means you can just type in the comment section. Also, maybe you might privately be writing notes so you can retain things. This does not replace psychotherapy or crisis stabilization. If your doctor told you to go see somebody, please go see somebody. These are just tools to help you along the way. Also, if you're having some pretty severe symptoms, not eating, not sleeping, rapid weight gain or rapid weight loss, you need a little bit more than Therapy Tuesday, go talk to someone. And I'm going to reiterate the point of taking notes. Take notes, journal. When we journal, something beautiful happens. We tap into our subconscious. We internalize things. We tackle those internalized beliefs that are not serving us. So I do encourage you, if something sparks you, to journal and write about it. I might trigger you. We might trigger you. It's not our intent. If we trigger you, please go get some water. Go take care of yourself. Take a break this month. You might join us again next month. But we want you to be well while you're spending time with us this evening. And I am so excited to recognize Men's Health Month. Happy Men's Health Month. If you are male and you're listening to the sound of my voice, I pray that you are getting the medical and mental health support that you need, and that you find the courage to ask for help, that you're going to your annual visits, and that you're following up, and that you're not suffering in silence, and that in your community that there's some kind of event going on where you can go and get resources and support. But happy Men's Health Month. All right, my objective today, I want you guys to be able to identify signs of compassion fatigue, unhealthy caregiving patterns. Yes, caregiving can be unhealthy. Yes. Examine how cultural and personal conditioning contribute to overfunctioning, and develop practical strategies for setting boundaries, embracing rest, and sustaining your well-being while honoring your values, your purpose, and your responsibilities. That is my objective today. I'm going to start off with a question. I want to get you engaged. I want to get your wheels turning. So what are or were the consequences to you not showing up strong in your life? A lot of us are strong because there was a negative repercussion waiting on us on the other side if we weren't. I want to invite you guys to take a moment and reflect. What would happen to me if I didn't show up? What would happen to me if I said no? What would happen to me if people thought I couldn't handle it or carry it? And I'll speak for my own experience. I remember being sick as a child. And my mom was a single mom, and I had to go to school because she had to go to work, or she wasn't going to be able to pay the bills. She put Vicks on my chest, turtleneck, buttoned my jacket up, and she held both of my arms and said, "You got to go to school because mommy has to go to work today." And she sent me to school. In that moment, had I cried and said, "Mommy, I don't feel good, I don't want to go," I would imagine she probably would have nudged me more, or maybe even verbally reprimanded me by yelling at me. But the cost of not being strong, some of us are yelled at. Some of us have been made to feel like we're doing something wrong, like we're betraying our family or our friends. So that's why we show up strong. I want to invite you to share, what was the consequence, or what currently is, you might still be in it, is the consequence for you not being strong.
Well, look, let's jump into that, and I'm going to see if our brother will come on as well, because, I think that's good, the consequence of not being strong, and sometimes that's not being supported, because people don't feel like you're the strong, I can't support you. You didn't bear this weight properly, so, I'm not there for you. There he goes. Let's bring my brother to the stage. Pastor Terrence Delco. Man, I've been waiting a long time to get you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We hear you, brother.
All
So,
right.
did you hear the question, brother?
Let me hear it again.
Yeah, what are or were the consequences to you not showing up strong in your life?
Oh, first of all, let me just say that this platform and this moment is absolutely amazing. Bishop Garrison, for you to pause and make sure that the saints are considering their mental health is absolutely amazing. More churches need to do this. And brother, I thank you for having the vision to understand just how important this is. We lay hands and we go to therapy. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had to say that. And to my dear sister, thank you, Sister Ponder, for the work that you do in our community, especially within folks that look like us. We need this. So I had to say that before I say anything. And yeah, there have been plenty of times, when you're in ministry, everybody come before you. And so you put everybody's needs first before yours. And often we're pouring from a picture that is very empty, very empty. And we almost consider it a badge of honor, almost. We've kind of romanticized pouring from an empty pitcher, unfortunately. And that's one thing that we really have to stop. I've done it, still do it, even though I know better. And so, yeah, I've definitely been there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for sharing. And someone put in a comment that they too used to be belittled if they didn't show up strong or not receive support. So thank you guys for your input. And I'm just going to move right along. If there's any more insider input you want to share, just jump right on. The strong friends reality. So I want to say this. A lot of us know we're strong, but we're not mindful enough to really understand what that means and what that looks like and how to change it. And today I'm going to encourage you to look harder, look deeper. And here's the reality. If you are the strong friend or the strong person, you are tired. You will say you're failing when you are exhausted. That's what being the strong person does. It categorizes fatigue because you're so strong in your subconscious, you can't even get fatigued. But you are tired, you're not failing. That's validating right there. You do not even know you deserve support. Your conscious mind does not know you deserve support. When the conscious mind doesn't know you deserve support, it doesn't require it. You won't even forget accepting. You won't even realize you need it. You can't accept this is the second step. The first step is understanding that you are a person that deserves support. So if you're hearing my voice right now, you're the strong person. I'm giving you permission to get support. We need that permission. Your environment, your childhood, your community, your churches will not give you permission to get support. Therefore, you won't even know you need it. So right now, Janae, the therapist, is giving you permission. You deserve it. You need it. You haven't even considered that support was possible. You didn't know support was possible. You were in such a survival mode. Your reality extends to your reality. What you've been doing is what you think you have to keep doing. You are blind to how you are hardwired. You don't know that this is how you are functioning. You think that it's a badge of honor. This is how you're hardwired. That means you can't just stop because stopping feels unsafe. So a large part of this is we need to get to a place of safety so we can stop. We're not going to stop just because we participate in Therapy Tuesday. You're not going to stop just because somebody lays hands on you. You're not going to stop just because you prayed about it. It's going to take some time to kind of undo how you've been hardwired. Here's another reality. Everyone benefits from your functionality but you. Yes, everybody's getting rich. Everybody's getting supported. Everybody's getting reinvigorated. You are like you are an antidepressant to everybody around you. Meanwhile, you're suffering in silence and you're depressed. You are an anti-anxiety medication for everybody around you. Meanwhile, you're the one drowning in fears and anxieties and worries. You are a living, breathing, walking, talking psychotropic medication. And that's hard. That's very hard. Here's another truth. People do not know where to begin to help you. You don't make space for people to support you. I asked this question on social media. Do you leave space in your life for people to support you? Many times we say nobody will support us, but when you really reflect, are you even leaving space for that to happen? Usually the answer is no when we reflect. There's no space for no one else to come in. Let's look at
balls on that question right there. Right? Mm-hmm. That last little bit of tea, that little. Let's put a pin right there. So, what about for people that when they allow people to support? Because I can say this was mine, right? I allowed people to support and was failed, so I said, forget it. You know, I'll get it done. You know, I do whatever it has, because when I open the door, people say, I want to help, and then the help never shows up. So then you've made expectations for people that said, hey, I want to support you, but then that help doesn't show up, whether it be with anything, you know, mental, emotional, ministry, whatever, you know. What do you do with that? You know, what would you say to that person or me? For those, you know, I'm doing better. I'm getting off my rocker a little bit.
I see Shamira eyes in there in the comments. Don't worry, I'm keeping game.
You know, but what do you do with that? And I'm gonna bring Pastor Copa as well, because I'm sure you have felt that. Have you felt that even in your life of people said that they would support, and then you're waiting, and then it's emptiness?
Man, listen, you already know. When you do the type of work we do, we get so many people that make promises to us. And it puts you in a conundrum, because you don't want to become a person who becomes, you know, very cold and not believing, but then you got to protect yourself too. Because, you know, you keep getting hurt, you keep getting disappointed, you know, you keep having these expectations, and people keep saying they're going to do something, they don't come through. It'll cause you to become very cold. And then you start mistreating the people who remain, because you're mad at the ones who didn't do what they said you're going to do. So yeah, it is, it's rough, especially as a pastor that's growing a church. And we're literally having the faith that things are going to get better, increase, and grow. And we're living off a lot of times those promises that people make, and they just don't come through. It becomes very disappointing. And we have to remain so cognizant not to mistreat those who remain, because you're mad at the ones that didn't come through.
And while we're on that, because we did say it's Men's Health Month, and we know Father's Day is Sunday, can you speak to that from the father perspective?
Man, you know, we are often expected to carry the weight of the world with grace and silence. You know what I mean? And many of us do it, and we do it. We make it look so easy that people just don't often consider us. You know, even our children, our spouses, other family members, when you carry weight well, you often get ignored.
Ooh,
right?
But that's a whole word when you carry weight.
Yeah, brother, when you carry it well, you know, people think, oh, he good, he all right, he look like he thriving, and then on the inside, you will be crumbling. So yeah, man, it's heavy as a father, and as a Black father. When the world attempts to promulgate a narrative that we're not in our children's lives, and we don't really want to be married, and all of these expectations that are placed upon us, that weight is heavy, brother. You already know.
And you know, I'll add, even from the support of the father role, right? I think people, like you said, we wear it well, and because we don't go out, when we don't act out of character, we just take it. We take the punches, you know, because at times let's just be honest, it's okay to abuse men. You know what I mean? We have emotions. We don't have to act like, hey, this doesn't hurt. It's okay. Society's, oh, whatever. You deserve that. You did wrong anyway, right? And so now it's like, this is due to you anyway. But then if it was switched, we're dogs. We're wrong. You know, and people don't think of, hey, the emotions or the sensitivity that it is for a father to have to carry something, or, you know, for even their children to be in your children's life consistently, then one day, boop, they're gone. What is the weight of that? And people don't think of that. Or when you're married and now there's a divorce, or even if those children aren't your biological, but you have gained a relationship with them, and now they're gone. And it's like, oh, you can't talk to them, but I spent my money. I poured into them for 3 to however many years, and it's like there's still a connection, but I'm just supposed to handle it. And that's a way too, as fathers, because hey, I was playing the father role or stepping in as a father, because father isn't just the fact that they came from me. It's about the actions that I show and give to them.
Can I say something that's gonna get me in trouble with all of your listeners?
Oh man, I don't care nothing about no trouble. Come on.
Can I say something? I don't want y'all to hate me, but you probably will. We love to talk about absentee fathers, but we don't talk about the damage that absentee mothers do. We don't talk about the damage of sons and daughters that had to grow up without an active or present mother. We make so many excuses, and please hear what I'm saying, because we all need to be accountable. But we make so many excuses for mothers that do not show up for their children. And we castigate men who don't show up as we should. But there is no accountability often for those women who don't show up for their children. And that is just as harmful as that absentee father.
Oh, that was good, brother. That was good. Janae, do you have anything to say? I know we've been rolling.
Oh, I do. Well, and I'm really just holding space because one, I'm not a man and I'm not a father. So, and it's Men's Health Month, so I was gonna let y'all have it. But just a few practical responses I have. I always say support is like shoes, and when shoes don't fit, we don't walk around barefoot. You got to find the right fit. It takes wisdom. Wisdom is knowing what to do when. You got to know your people. Don't go to Lowe's for makeup. If you try someone and they try to support you and they're not effective, don't go back there. But when you find someone who shows up consistently, they have the skills it takes to support you in a way that you need, then you go back there. A lot of times we try to make people support us who are not graced to do it. When you recognize that someone doesn't have what it takes to give you what you need as support, you got to leave them alone. Not all of your congregation has the grace to support you. Recognize that. Not all of your family members has the grace to support you. Lean in. If you're married to somebody, sometimes our spouses don't have the grace to support us. Don't go to Lowe's for makeup. They don't got it. Find your people who can support you. Oftentimes, arrogance and entitlement will put us in environments, and we want to make everybody our supporters just because we're there and we're strong and we're important. Now I'm about to get into codependency. Because we're strong and we're so giving, we're so important in the environment, everybody should give us what we give them. That's entitlement. When you expect you from other people, that's entitlement. Everybody ain't you. They're not graced like you. They're not anointed like you. You got to find your people. And when you don't find them, don't say all people can't support me. Just that person can't support you. That's my feedback when it comes to support. And when I was just listening to you guys talk about how women are not held accountable, unfortunately, what came to mind was social norms. Unfortunately, it has been normalized to beat men up for being absent. And it's not normalized right now socially where women are being beat up. Doesn't make it right. It's just the understanding that I just came as I was listening to you all. So if you are listening to them, it's really important that when we start to do advocacy work, we talk about that. Maybe we need to do a Therapy Tuesday topic on that. We need to make space to address these issues that are hitting on the rocks. So I think we need to make that a topic.
All right. Well, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you for your feedback and input. And I am looking at the chat. I could do 3 things at once. So if something was said and you have some feedback, please share it. What does it mean to be strong? I think that's really important. What does it mean to be strong? That's very subjective. In working with clients and in dealing with my own strongness, I have an understanding. So we consider people strong who don't show emotions. And I'm going to say this. Just because you don't feel your emotions doesn't mean you don't have them. You're likely suppressing them. And emotions are full of energy. They are going somewhere. They go somewhere. They get into your body. They start causing arthritis and inflammation and headaches and hypertension. Those emotions are going somewhere. So you're not strong. You're silently breaking down, and we calling it strong. So it's not normal for people to go through a lot and be emotionless. Remember that today. If you have a strong friend or are the strong friend, and life is kicking your behind and you have no emotional reaction, that is abnormal. That is not normal. Something is happening on the inside of you and you just are blind to it. And you need somebody like me to help you find out what's happening. A sign that you are strong, you have a high tolerance for pain. No, you're numb. You are numb. You're checked out because you don't have the luxury to sit down and process emotions because you got to keep saving people. You got to keep showing up. And sitting down to process your emotions is going to take away the time you would be using to be strong. um, Many people depend on you. Like the world stops if you don't show up. People, they calling you all the time. They texting you. They want to know what you think about everything. They don't want to be autonomous and independent. You are the lifeblood of every scenario in your life. You hold it down on the job. You hold it down on the family. You hold it down on your side jobs and your side things and your hobbies. You are the it person, the beginning and the end. It won't get done if you don't do it. We're in a very dangerous place when life can't function without us. When we have to be present and involved in everything or the world stops, that's a very dangerous place. Um, what I've come to recognize as being strong is someone who can return to baseline faster. Baseline is your normal way that you show up naturally. So something really traumatic can happen, but strong people get back to baseline fast, or it appears that they do. So this is someone who's not super dramatic. This is someone who doesn't cry often. This is someone who might verbalize that they're hurting, but they keep it together. So I've come to know that strong people get back to what we consider normal a lot faster. Um, Many of us were taught to be strong. We were conditioned. We were bred. We were programmed to be strong. Not complain. Don't talk about what's hurting you, because if you have to admit what's hurting you, you have to admit that you feel pain. And if you admit you feel pain, somehow that makes you vulnerable. And if you're vulnerable, you're too weak to be strong. And if you're too weak, life is going to kick you behind. So you don't complain. Figure it out. You were taught to figure it out, not ask for help if you don't know. It is not wise to try to figure something out when you don't know. That's ignorance. If you don't know and you're not an expert in something, don't just figure it out. You need to find someone who knows and connect with them and get support. Just keep moving. It's not wise to keep moving when you've been wounded. That's why we have hospitals. We need rest and restoration. Don't just keep moving. Slow down and rest. Taking care of everybody else, not yourself. You're not on your list of people to take care of, but everybody else is there. Some of us learned this through our family roles. Maybe you're the oldest child. Maybe you're the responsible one. Maybe everybody around you dropped the ball, and if you didn't pick it up, maybe you wouldn't be eating. Maybe the family wouldn't have a roof over their head. Church culture. Yes, church culture. The servant mindset, to be, I'm a servant in the army of the Lord. That means I don't rest. I don't sleep. I'm at every church function. I'm at the church 7 days a week. I'm opening the church. I'm closing the church. I'm on every ministry in the church. Survival. And I'll be honest, I get tickled when people say things like God told me to do it, or you're doing it for God. That's the one. I'm doing it for God. God didn't ask you to do that. God does not want you serving him broken down. I said this in a few Therapy Tuesdays ago. Even your purpose has limits. That's called stewardship. You got to know where your purpose begins and ends, because you're going to burn out and you're going to be no spiritual good. You're not going to be good. Poverty, trauma, being the responsible one. We talked about that. Strength became your identity. It's your identity. You don't even know who you are. Somebody asks you who you are, you got to talk about everything that you do, because that's the only thing you have going for yourself. And if that is you, it's time to spend some time getting to know who you are when you're not doing. Who are you when you're in a room not helping anybody else, but just being? Who are you?
Can we pause on that, man? You just had a whole mouthful, a basket full that I feel like we got to, let me bring my brother. We got to dissect a little of that, Nate, because you just went down a list and I was like, oh,
Lord Jesus.
I seen a little of me, I seen a little of that, a little of them, and especially with what you said about church serving, or people serving, and part of that is them being the strong one, right? Because I don't feel inadequate when I serve. I don't feel that, I don't have to, I'm gonna help someone. I don't have to deal with the little boy in me because I'm serving. So because I'm serving, I feel like a man. But when I'm not serving, the boy that was abused, the boy that was molested, the boy that was left, now he shows up. And so therefore I rather serve than to get served, and I have to deal with the things of me that has been hidden because I haven't had the support to get it out. Come on, I feel your spirit over there, brother. Come on, let's talk.
No, look, she went, man, listen, church culture, unfortunately, particularly within our community, as much as it has exalted and lifted us and liberated us, it has also kept us very bound in this regard. Where that strong ethic, being strong, even the Bible tells us, that when we are weak, God is strong. But for some reason, we don't authentically believe that. We don't lean into God leading us beside the still water so that our soul can be restored. We don't lean into that. We don't lean into Sabbath, right? And so we are constantly almost trying to prove our self-worth by proving how much we can take until you do like me in 2020 and have a panic attack in your pulpit in front of your congregation. So these are the reasons why nights like this, Bishop Garrison, Sister Ponda, are so important, because many of us don't show any signs of breaking until we break down. And this is why these types of nights, and your chat, Bishop Garrison, your chat is full of people that are making these connections with what our dear sister is saying. And so I just want to encourage people to give how strength is truly displayed. There is such strength in no. There is such strength in boundaries. There is such strength in restrictions. There is such strength in limited access. There is strength in not always being available. That's where strength is. Because I learned, you keep on being available for everybody and yourself, and you go be in that room breaking down by yourself. I'm telling you, because it's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I have learned better over the last year, is that boundary, of no, or taking a moment to rest. I will say when I lost my job in October, right, to be able to sit and guys talking, and then I look back, what was I doing all that running for? Why was I working so hard, right? But then everything that I associated what I was doing for had to do with things outside of me. And when God makes you rest, right, or sit back and reflect, it's like, ooh. And again, nothing is wrong with serving, with giving, with pouring, but it's like, when you're doing all of that, where's the retribution? What's coming back to you as you pour? What's coming out, right? The last week, I was in prayer and spending time with the Lord, right? And God told me, you got to stop pouring in the cups with holes, right? Because here's the thing about pouring that God revealed to me, and I ain't gonna preach, but I got to say this. Maybe this will bless somebody, right? Because a cup with holes can never overflow. But the thing about it, when a cup overflows, it comes back to you. And so as you pour, if nothing is coming back to you, you have to check what you're pouring. And so, because the thing about it, people will always take. It will always take. And so when do you notice this thing is taken so much that it never has the capacity to pour back, right? Because the overflow is the pour back. Once you poured in so much, now it's pouring back. That's the retribution. And so I think as men, as women, as leaders, as husbands, wives, you got to realize, okay, dang, when am I getting poured back into a little bit? When you gonna scratch my back? Now I've been rubbing feet, rubbing back, whatever. Using that as a metaphor, right? But when do you get something back? Because what will happen is your hands will eventually, right? They'll start to get tight and fatigued. So when that happens, what do you have for the release? All right, I'm gonna sit out now.
What did Lauryn Hill tell us in 1999? Lauryn Hill, in her classic album, introduced a word to our lexicon called reciprocity. And we need to understand that reciprocity is holy. There needs to be some reciprocity if we're going to be in relationship. And if you're not able to participate in reciprocity with that particular person, that's okay. But that also means that I have to be careful how I handle that person and be aware of that. We have to stop being afraid of reciprocity. You know what I mean? We do, because there should be some give and take. There should be Ahmad pours into me, I pour back into Ahmad, right? Because if I'm always taking from Ahmad, then I'm a leech. I'm not a friend. I'm not a brother. So we have to stop being afraid of reciprocity and start demanding it, or start moving on. Jesus told us to shake the dust off our feet as a testimony to them that would not receive us. Some of us need to embrace that in our personal relationships as well. Not just shake off the dust of your feet to places, but some of us need to shake the dust off our feet to people as well.
Now, I'm going to add a layer onto that reciprocity.
Add that layer.
I'm going to add a layer. So you even got to be careful with reciprocity. I'm going to tell you why. You even need to do that with wisdom, because a lot of times we start to show up out of our obligation. So yes, reciprocity is important, but it is not wise to reciprocate when your cup is empty. It is not, because I don't want to show up and support you, Bishop Garrison, if I don't have the energy, because I can't even give you my best self. So don't be reciprocating when your cup is empty. You need restoration, and you need to be able to communicate that. Hey, brother, hey, sister, I can't show up right now. I'm resting, but hopefully next time things will be different. We have to stop reciprocating for reciprocation's sake. And that's just causing even a whole nother layer of issues. Now you're showing up everywhere out of obligation. You're irritated. You're all pressed down, oppressed, repressed, suppressed, when you really need rest. So yes, reciprocate, but do it when you have the capacity. And you may be wondering, Janae, well, how do I know my capacity? Your nervous system tells you your capacity. And you can't bully your nervous system or gaslight your nervous system into having more capacity. You literally have to rest. Your nervous system doesn't care about what someone did for you last week.
Come on here.
Right.
Rest. And then show up for other people. And if they get mad at you and mistreat you, call you a leech, and don't make space for you to rest, then you have everything you need to know, and you need to set some boundaries with that person. Because one thing that I'm learning to do is give people permission and space to rest. We can't be on this space talking about strong people, and we are reinforcing the ideology behind these strong people that are tired. We need to give people permission to tell us no, even if we've done something for them. Because I don't want you showing up for me with your cup half empty, messing up my program.
Yeah.
Listen.
Take care of yourself.
Good. That's good. Now,
that's good.
Now, I would say, now, for those that do say no, what would you say to them that people try to make them feel guilty for rest or guilty for boundaries, and say, hey, and they're being vulnerable. Hey, I don't have the capacity. But then people place the guilt. Oh, well, I was counting on you, because people do that. You say, look, I ain't got it. And then it's like they still trying to pull, and then it starts to make you feel away a little bit. What would you say to that, Nate?
Well, I'll go back to the lesson when we talked about bargains versus boundaries. A boundary is something you maintain when you're willing to allow other people to determine what that boundary looks like. It's now a bargain. And I will preface this by saying that dealing with guilt is very heavy. It feels very unsafe to our nervous system. So you likely will go into a fight, flight, freeze mode. Fight is, I'm going to show up even though I'm tired anyway. I'm going to just do it because I don't want to feel guilty. Freeze is, I'm going to avoid them. I'm not going to talk to them because I'm going to act like I'm invisible. So you literally will go into a survival mode when guilt shows up. So you got to recognize how you're showing up. Are you a fight, flight, freezer when you start to feel those intense emotions? Understand where that came from. Float back into childhood or to experiences where you first felt guilty when you said no, and figure out what you were taught to believe about yourself because you said no. Because whatever that belief is, you're carrying it. And it's going to show up every time you have to tell somebody no. And in therapy, what we do is we will desensitize you to those internalized beliefs, and we will help you to reprogram new beliefs. I always ask, what would you like to believe about yourself when you say no to somebody? Mm-hmm. I have the right to say no. I'm still a good friend, even if I say no. And I start to help to embed that internalized belief through some practices that we use. We call it dual attention stimulation. A couple of different things that we do: affirmations, journaling. And I'm going to say this: new experiences are very powerful. Every time you get to tell somebody no and they give you permission to say no, your brain gets a new level of understanding. I can survive saying no. The more of those you have, that guilt gets smaller and smaller every time you experience it. So to be honest, keep living. Stop isolating. You need the experiences so you can grow past that traumatic response that you always keep showing up with. And I hope that makes sense. Did that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense to me.
All right. So the hidden cost of being strong. And we do have some comments. There was one comment I wanted to address. It was one particularly where somebody said, I don't like to show emotions publicly because I know not everyone cares. So I process emotions privately or with close family. Sometimes I'm misunderstood because of that. Yeah, that's true. And if it's safe enough, you can also do it publicly because I always say, we don't express our emotions or speak up for ourselves because people care. To be honest, when we speak up and release things, we're better for it. We're not doing it for response. Everybody around us not going to have the skills to respond. Sometimes it's just relieving. We just need to get it out. Sometimes people don't even know that that's how we're feeling. So sometimes, even though they don't have the capacity to show up, you're educating them. When you say, I am feeling tired today, I don't have the energy to go on. A lot of people don't even know that that's what's happening internally. So when you speak outwardly what's happening internally, you give people a better understanding of how you're feeling. Now, I always say that people that care about you, the trauma isn't their responsibility. They didn't put it there, but they are committed to being a part of your safety. If I care about you, Audrey, and you express a feeling to me, I am going to do something different now that I have this new information. If you share something internally, externally, and people say they care and there's no shift or even no attempt to shift, those are not your people. At least in that moment, not till they're capable or able to make some adjustments. They are not your people because they're going to continue to trigger you. They're going to continue to not have the capacity to show up for you. And that's going to make you go further and further in isolation. And you want to be careful about isolating yourself because then you're not going to have the experiences to grow around the issue. So just be mindful that it's more for you than it is getting the support from the other people. I hope that was helpful. All right. So the hidden cost of being strong. Well, the problem is our community celebrates resilience. We give badges of honor to the people who appear strong on the outside, but are absolutely broken down on the inside. Think about the strong Black woman. Yes. The dependable Black man, the fixer, the caretaker, the one who always comes through. There's no one is getting praised for resting. Like, do y'all have a list of people that y'all shouting out for resting and saying no and setting boundaries? Maybe we need to make that a social norm or cultural norm. Start celebrating people who are taking care of themselves. Let's do that. It is great. The reason why you are celebrated for being strong is not because being strong is great, but because people are benefiting from it. And what you don't realize is they're reinforcing your behaviors. The more praise you get for being strong, the more you're going to do it, the more they benefit from it. It's a subconscious psychological process. It is behavioral conditioning. It's what happens to dogs when we give them treats. You get praise, you do it more. Get free from that cycle. Get free from that cycle. And I think we can contribute to the opposite of this effect by really acknowledging people and validating them taking better care of themselves. All right. So, how are we programmed? So, many of us receive messages just like this. So, conditioning and programming happens obviously in childhood. Um, and they're through survival messages. Sometimes it's direct messages. Maybe you've heard things like, don't let people see you cry. Why not? They'll tell you that because they'll think you're weak. No, if I see you crying, I think you're human. I think something's hurting you. If I see you cry, that is a clear indication that you need help. Crying is an outward sign that you need help. It is like an alarm. Whenever we see tears, that is a clear indicator that I need some support. So if you're not crying, you're not giving any indication that you need help. Nobody is coming to save you. We were programmed with that idea. No one is going to show up for you. Well, if you're not crying, they probably won't show up. And you probably believe that. And so because you're not opening that door, no one isn't coming. But that doesn't mean no one will continue to not come if you open yourself up to it. You have to work twice as hard. That's another survival message that has programmed and conditioned us. Family comes first. Ooh, that one is deadly. Because a lot of us are killing ourselves for the sake of our families, literally and emotionally, and even spiritually. Family comes first. No, you come first. It is okay to take care of yourself, and then whatever you have left, give it to your family. A lot of us have been programmed to comply with family requests first, to give our last dollar, to give all of our time, to pay all the bills, to be the only one in the house working. And those perspectives are allowing us to just continue to have that strong title without honoring our need for rest and restoration. Pray about it and keep moving. Well, we know prayer without works is dead. You got to do a lot more than just pray. There's a lot more ingredients that go into prayer. Prayer is important, but we don't want to abuse prayer and make prayer our savior. We have to do some work. And over time, these messages actually become internalized beliefs. And you believe that your need comes last. A lot of strong people, if I were to ask you directly, I bet you'd be totally okay being last on your list of people that need things and that need to be taken care of. Fix that. Put you first on the list. You have the belief that rest is selfish. It is not selfish to rest. It's really important. Rest and sleep are one of the most important things you can give your body. Research shows that when we sleep and when we rest, our brain is restored. We get clarity. Research shows that we actually solve problems in our sleep. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the phrase, just sleep on it. Yes, because a lot of recovery and restoration and clarity and creativity happens in REM sleep. You need sleep. So if you have foggy brain and can't figure out what's happening, you probably need some rest. And you actually will be stronger if you allowed yourself to rest because you'll have clarity and you'll be more witty. I am responsible for everyone. That is an internalized belief you carry. And also asking for help is weakness. If you have any of those beliefs, my needs come last, rest is selfish, asking for help is weakness, I am responsible for everyone, this session is for you. And those beliefs didn't get there on their own. They got there from an experience. Something happened. You came to believe these things and they're in your memory networks. And now you need to deprogram and then reprogram some affirmations, something that's opposite of that. You don't have to answer this, but I want you to kind of reflect on this for the sake of time. How has your family conditioned you to be strong? That kind of aligns with the first question. So just reflect on that. And I'll take family out. Sometimes our jobs take advantage of us. How does your job condition you to be strong? How is your church conditioning you to be strong? How are your partners, romantic partners, conditioning you to be strong? And resist that. Pay attention to it. And I want to talk about the strong person trap. And I have a mini test for you how to know if you're in a strong person trap. That's when strength becomes your prison. You have no identity outside of it. You are stuck behind the invisible walls of this strength that you have to always have on all the time, 24/7. Here's a quick little test. If this is you, just make a mental note. You feel guilty for resting. You solve everyone's problem. You can smell a problem from a mile away. You solving problems before people even ask you. You already got a solution. And you get mad with people when they don't heed your solutions. You don't even ask for help. Not rarely. You don't ask for help. In fact, you feel very uncomfortable when you're being helped. You have an out of body experience when someone's helping you. You are everyone's emergency contact. If something goes wrong at the house, at the church, in the community, everybody has your cell phone number. People call you only when they need something. And it makes sense because you have all the answers. Why would they call you when they don't need something? They only call you when they need something. You feel exhausted, but keep saying, I'm fine. Every time somebody asks you how you're doing, you're lying. You say, I'm good. Everything's okay. You might be in a strength prison, or you might be carrying that persona that's keeping you bound. There's no existing outside of these questions. If you said yes to many or all of these, you might be trapped. And again, as I started with, recovery is possible. Recovery is possible. With the right help, the right reinforcement, getting out of the environment that created the belief in the first place will help you. When caring starts to hurt, this is compassion fatigue. And I won't stay on this for too long, but simply put, your emotions have limits. When you care too much, you eventually become physically and emotionally exhausted. And we call that compassion fatigued. So when you have to show up and help, you're angry. Every time the church asks you to do something, why they calling? Every time somebody calling you, you're irritated, you're numb, you're cynic, you're exhausted, you feel disconnected, and you've lost your joy. You don't feel happy. You have joy intolerance. You can't even tolerate joy. Everything is irritating you. That's called compassion fatigue. And that's because you're giving too much. You need rest and restoration. The savior complex. Your mindset sounds like, if I don't do it, nobody else will. It's my job to fix people. They need me. I have to save them. You sound like you're trying to be Jesus. The truth is, you can support people, you can love them, but remember your purpose has limits. You cannot live people's lives from them. You can't jump in their skin and do it. You are not responsible for people's lives and livelihood. This is a savior complex. If people can't function and exist without you, you are now people's savior. And you want to be careful. We know about idols. We know what the word says about that. And we don't even consider that we ourselves are now idols because of the position that we put ourselves in, or the position that our families have put us in, and we haven't contended it or protested it or tried to change it. And this isn't to condemn anybody or make anyone feel bad. This is just to help shine a light in an area where you probably weren't looking, so you can begin to take baby steps to change. All right. So learn to be, this came to me. So a part of the solution is we have to learn to be okay witnessing the suffering of others. There is a time to intervene and there is a time to allow growth. A lot of us are codependent. We need everybody around us to be okay. And it is that need that drives us to always show up when people are not okay. We have to make friends with the suffering of other people. There's a time to intervene. There's a time not to intervene. If people are not able to grow because you keep intervening, that's a clear indication you should stop intervening. You are literally stunting people's growth. I'm going to say this. If you find yourself around a strong person, you gravitate toward them because of what they can do for you, you're likely someone who's not growing much, because that strong person does all your thinking, breathing, and acting for you. If you want to grow, get away from people who solve all of your problems. I see this a lot in like family dynamics with parent child. Sometimes I see it in friend dynamics. We have to get away from people that solve our problems for us. It's enabling us. You need to be exposed. We call it exposure therapy. You need to be exposed to things that challenge you so you can grow around
it. Let's talk right quick on that, because I think that's good, and we'll bring brother up here. Because sometimes people they'll get mad that she will not intervene. Well, you seen me suffer. How did you let me go through that? Or even as friends, you let me go through that by myself. You didn't step in. I was going through, and so like with that, especially as leaders, right? Sometimes you got to let people error to understand how to lead, right? Because if you never error, as John Maxwell has a book, Failing Forward, right? So you got to let people fail to know what to do, what to change, how to adjust. And so as leaders, and even as men or business owners or whatever, people don't like suffering, especially when they know you're watching or they feel that you're doing better than them, and then you let them suffer. And so what would you give to that person that has suffered and condemn somebody for letting them suffer?
They're doing what they're supposed to do. Suffering is uncomfortable. I would imagine, a lot of times when we're suffering, we like to blame other people. We think we're suffering because of the lack of support, or we think we're suffering because of something we did. Suffering is inevitable. Misery is optional. We will suffer. We cannot get around it, and we have to stop blaming other people for it. And also, we have to allow ourselves to grow. That awareness, that mindfulness of I need to grow. And I teach my clients, every time I feel discomfort, that is an indication that growth is possible. That's it. Every time I feel discomfort, that is an indication that growth is possible. I need to sit in it. I need to make friends with discomfort. And I also teach my clients that discomfort doesn't mean unsafety. You are absolutely safe, but you're absolutely uncomfortable. You're just uncomfortable. And what our minds will do is trick us. It'll trick us into thinking we're unsafe and we're in a crisis. You're not in a crisis. You're being challenged. They say our brains are reason-giving machines. Every time you're presented with a challenge, your brain will give you a reason why you can't do it. Naturally. It's a survival. It's a built-in mechanism that we didn't ask for. Our brains will automatically tell us we can't whenever we're challenged a little bit. So keep that in mind. You're dealing with a person who's super vulnerable, super uncomfortable. Their brain is telling them they can't, and they're looking for relief. They're looking for comfort. But they need that awareness that I need this discomfort to grow. And it's okay to remind them and make space for them to be frustrated with you. It is not our responsibility to manage everybody else's feelings. That's that codependency I was talking about. Let people be irritated. Let people be mad. Feelings are fickle. They're temperamental. The metaphor we use a lot is that feelings are like waves. They rise real high and then they go low and then they fade away into the sand. They'll be mad at you temporarily. It fades into the sand. Nobody holds on to that anger for 20 years because you wouldn't help them in a moment. Especially if you explain to them, you need this for your growth. You can be mad at me, but I'm okay with you being mad if you're going to be a better person on the other side of it.
That's good. Brother, you got anything on that?
No, I'm just in awe of what you're saying. Like, just in absolute awe. The permission that you are giving us tonight, I think is something that our community really needs to hear. Because as you said, many of us have been conditioned since children not to feel a certain way, not to express certain thoughts. And so for many of them that are in this audience that are watching replay, you're liberating them by giving them this permission to feel how they feel and to let people something. Bishop, you know how we do. We like to save everybody. We don't like, as pastors, right? We got that thing on us. We've been told, go leave the 99 and go get the one. We've been told that and taught to do that. And we have to be even careful in that, right? Because sometimes the growth only happens when there is a season of non-comfort. My grandmother told me something a long time ago, and I didn't understand it until recently. She said, sometimes you just have to put people in the hands of the Lord. I didn't know what she meant by that. Now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just have to put people in God's hand because you beyond where I can help you. You got to let the Lord do it.
In the type of therapy I like to use called dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. If you Google it, YouTube it, a lot of videos will come up. But there's something in that therapy called irreverence. And it doesn't mean the traditional definition of that word. In that type of therapy, irreverence is a style of communication. And it says that two opposites can exist at the same time. And the two opposites when it comes to irreverence and communication that we're looking at is compassionate confrontation. Compassion and accountability. Those two things can exist at the same time. I think it's really important to recognize that we can be compassionate and still hold people accountable. Compassion doesn't mean you allow people to just do what they want to do. And the idea that I'm going to always support you all the time because I never want you to change. We have to accept what we cannot change and change what we can. If I just keep enabling you, you won't change what you can. We need to focus on the part that you can change. And that's the part that I don't want to enable. You do have power. You have God-given power and you can make changes. But if I keep saving you, you're not going to tap into that. So practice irreverence. If you are a leader on here, if you have a church, it's called irreverence, compassionate confrontation. You can do both at the same time.
Thank you. I'm going to go look it up.
All right. So just keep this in mind that some people need consequences more than they need to be rescued. And that's all I'm going to say on that. If you're still rocking with us, thank you. We're going over a little time, but this is worth it. And I only have about maybe 4 or 5 more points to make. Jesus had boundaries, and I underlined it. I don't even think I need to go deeper. Even Jesus rested. He left crowds. Ooh, somebody got a friend group, a crew, a club, a clique, as my bishop says, that they don't want to let go of. Sometimes you got to leave your crowds. He took breaks. Take your breaks. You got to rest. We know that he was in solitude. We know that he rested. Something that was shared, he said, lean into Sabbath. I wrote that on my paper. That's for my homework. I'm going to lean into my Sabbath. That's my new affirmation. Lean into Sabbath. Yes. We have to lean into that. Make friends with it. Make it a part of our lifestyles. He prayed alone. I will even add, probably pray for himself. Pray for yourself. He didn't heal everyone. You can't go around using your purpose on everybody. Your purpose isn't for everybody. There's a time for that. He didn't meet every demand. When you are anointed, when you are gifted, when you are graced, when your area of genius is the gift your trauma gave you, people see that it factor and that shine in you, and they are attracted to it. People are attracted to your gifts. They have no problem taking advantage of you. Don't make it easy for them. I have so many forms now. I used to be wide open. You can ask my brother. Even he got to fill out a form if you want me to speak for him outside of Therapy Tuesday. Because I need buffers. I need to read now and vet to see if you align with me. There's something called attunement and alignment. Remember, I talked about instead of doing things out of obligation, do things out of alignment and attunement. What is in alignment with your purpose? What is already in agreement with you and they don't have to tweak it or change it? Those are the things that you should be saying yes to a little bit more. And if it doesn't align, the answer is no. Simple. No alignment, no commitment. That's going to get rid of a lot of things. How many things are you saying yes to that doesn't even align with your purpose? You wasting your time. God hasn't even given you permission to do those things. And you praying and asking God for strength for something he didn't even give you permission to do. You shouldn't be operating outside of your purpose. Again, that's called stewardship. All right. Deprogramming the strong frame. Which, how do I deprogram? I kind of already talked about how you deprogram. It's just a matter of reprocessing and inserting new beliefs. So your old belief might be my value comes from what I do. Your new belief is my values come from who I am. You are great and spectacular just for who you are. Your worth is not in your work. Please write that in a journal. My value comes from who I am, not what you do. It's not about what you do, it's about the person who empowers that action to happen. Your wit, your charisma, how you problem solve, how you think. There's beauty beyond what you do. The old belief might be rest is selfish. The new belief is rest is stewardship. If I rest, I can be more in alignment with who God has called me to be. Yes, put that in the journal. Start reprogramming that belief. Rest is stewardship. The old belief might be I must carry everyone. That means 100% of the people in your life you must carry. And here's a new belief: everyone deserves responsibility for their own life. And if these words don't resonate with you, please come up with your own new belief. I do believe in the power of language. You got to put it in your own voice. So if you need to reword these, go ahead. Everyone deserves responsibility for their own life. How to stop carrying everything. Here's just 6 little nuggets that might help you. And you can add some more on. Again, anything that I teach is just a tool, but I recognize that you guys can think things through and come up with things that work for you. And if you do, put it on a list. Delay your response. Stop being so quick to respond. I recognize when you're in survival mode, it is really innate. It's like blinking, you would just respond. Learn to pause because you're trying to deprogram. Not every text, call, email requires immediate action. Remember that thing I said earlier? Sleep on it. Start sleeping on things. Allow your mind to sleep on it, think through it, get clarity, and come back with an answer. You might need to sleep on it 2 nights. Ask before helping. I call it chronic helping syndrome. You help without permission. If they don't ask you for the help or the support, you don't offer it. No longer do you sniff out possible opportunities for people who need help and you just help freely. And you can ask this question too: do you want support or solutions? And then you get to decide if you have the capacity to give that. And honestly, if you determine you don't have capacity to show up for other people, don't ask them if they need help. When I'm wore out, I am not asking you if you need help because I ain't got it. That's wisdom. How often have you been exhausted, no energy in your tank, and you going around asking what you need from me? I could just let me know what you need. That is dangerous. Just let me know what you need. That's open. If I am in need, if I'm one of the people suffering, I'm going to take full advantage of the let me know what you need. Don't leave yourself wide open like that anymore. You're at capacity. You can't handle what this person might ask you. And you know you can't say no, and you know you're not going to say no. Create office hours for your emotional availability. Yes, and that is a figure of speech. You could literally create a time where you deal with things and people, but that's really about living a life where you literally have a schedule and set things. Like for me, the weekend is family time, Saturday and Sunday, and the only time I will work on Saturday is if my husband has allowed me and given me the space to do that, and he allows me to do anything that I pretty much ask. He's so caring, but I ask, but also there has to be some elements. Like I do not give myself in my family time if it's not going to be reciprocated. So I need an honorarium. I need you to pour back into me. It can't be far away. I'm not driving 4 hours. Like there are some boundaries, my emotions, my time, my energy. There are certain factors that have to be in place before I just give myself away. I didn't have all these boundaries. There was a Juneteenth event Saturday. I love my community. I'm a part of the NAACP in this area. I wanted to show up. I even had a business strategy and plan to show up. But I had to check in with myself. I had to be real with me. I didn't have the capacity. I stayed home on Saturday and I rested, and I didn't feel guilty about it. I felt restored. This person who had the event, they know my heart. They know I'm not a bad person. And I felt great about that. Stop volunteering for every problem. Yes. Stop volunteering for every problem. Let some other solution people show up, or leave space so that God can develop some other solution people. Schedule recovery before burnout. We need sabbaticals. Bring back sabbaticals. I'm taking one the last quarter of the year. October, November, December, I am offline. Nobody will have access to me. I'm not doing anything the last quarter of the year because I need it. I have to recharge my battery. I've been mindful enough to know that I need that. Your sabbatical doesn't need to be 90 days. Maybe you just need a weekend. Maybe you need an hour sabbatical. I call that a brain break. Take a brain break. Let adults lean in. Let adults solve adult problems. Yes. I understand children a little bit differently because they are vulnerable and they have limits to what they can do. But adults, you got to let adults solve adult problems. Kind of put that on your little rule list. Is this an adult? Are they rational creatures? Can they think for themselves? If the answer is yes, then your answer is no. I'm not helping. Yes. Check your load. I have some questions that you can ask yourself. You could journal about these. What am I carrying that isn't mine? Yes. What am I carrying that is not mine? Who benefits from my inability to say no? Yes. Who's benefit? You need to write a list. And it sounds weird, but yes, write a list. Who benefits when I say no? My inability to say no. So who benefits when I say yes? What would happen if I rested? Ooh. What are you telling yourself would happen if you rested? Because that's not true. Those are just your thoughts. Don't believe everything you think. What is the lie that your mind is telling you will happen if you rest? Acknowledge that and acknowledge it as a lie. Am I helping people or preventing their growth? Think about think about that one person you helped the most. Just let's start with that one person. Think about all the times you swooped in to help them. Are you helping them or are you preventing their growth? Answer that question in your journal. What am I afraid will happen if I stop being the strong one? And it is what your thoughts are telling you. Remember, don't believe everything you think. What am I afraid will happen if I stop being the strong one? Make sure you document that as a lie as well. Just check your load. These are just some questions to ask yourself. Being chosen doesn't mean being used up. You don't have to be used up to be chosen. You do not. You need to rest, cry, ask for support and help, leave room for it, set boundaries and don't allow those boundaries to become bargains. Say no. And here's the thing. Sometimes you don't have to verbalize a no. Sometimes your no can be through action. Show them no. If you don't have the words to say, show them your no. And be human. Feel your feelings. Cry. Don't suppress. Don't deny. Don't ignore. Bring that stuff up to the surface and really allow somebody to help you process that stuff. A calling is not a command to self-destruct. Again, God does not want you serving him broke and broken down. And last but not least, I want to check for your understanding. I'm just going to read a few statements. You tell me if they are true or false. T indicates true. False indicates false. I just want to know if you're paying attention. That's all. Strong people should be able to handle everything alone. That's an easy one. Is that true or false? Yeah, that's false. Thank you. Compassion fatigue can happen even when you genuinely love helping others. Is that true or false? That actually is true. Compassion fatigue can happen even when you genuinely love helping others. Remember, it's not about love and care, it's about capacity. Your nervous system said, we don't have any more to give, but you keep trying to care and love on people. Rest is a sign of weakness. Is that true or false? That is, of course, false. Rest is not a sign of weakness. Allowing natural consequences can sometimes be more helpful than rescuing. Is that true or false? That is true. Setting boundaries means you do not care. That is false. You do care. You care about yourself. Absolutely. Being chosen by God means you should never feel tired. Ooh, that's a good one. Is that true or false? That is false. It is impossible to help others without becoming responsible for them. That is false. It is false that it is impossible to help others without becoming responsible for them. You can absolutely help others without them becoming your responsibility. So thank you all for your attention, your participation. I am honored that you spent your Tuesday evening with me. I pray that you receive something that's going to change your life and move you in a different trajectory. And if it's someone you love that could use this, please share the link with them or share something you learned. Every time we share things we learn, we seal it and we internalize it more. We're going to open the floor if there's any last questions, thoughts, or feedback from anyone.
And also, if y'all have any questions and you don't feel comfortable placing it in the chat, you can text it to the number on the bottom of the screen anonymously, and we'll ask your questions here. But this is your time. If you got a question, ask it now. You got my brother, Pastor Terrence Cole, Miss Janae Ponder. So ask real quick, because we did go over our time today, and we appreciate you hanging on and hanging out. But some things can't be rushed. And so we want to make sure that everything that you need, you're getting in this space, because it is a safe space. And we want to make sure that you're getting the benefit, not just for yourself, but for the kingdom, because we all got to operate successfully and healthily. And so we're going to give it about 30 seconds. And if there's no questions, we're going to get out of here. But I will say, I think the greatest part for tonight for me is, I think as leaders, we have to give ourselves the opportunity to rest. I said, I'm going to go on a sabbatical. I actually thought about my birthday when I'm still praying, because sometimes you just got to just sit down. They tell me I don't sit down enough. So I'm about to start sitting down a little bit, because we needed to refill, recalibrate, and honestly revisit the vision God has given us as leaders, as pastors, business owners. Because if you're always going, when do you ever get the opportunity to strategize? Because it's always making this happen. And so I think that rest is key. And even on the slide, you said something powerful. It really hit me different, which was Jesus didn't heal everybody. He didn't meet every demand. And I could imagine the people that was around him that was sick, that wanted his attention, but he didn't do it. So he chose certain people, or certain ones that was able to get their miracle, get their healing, get that touch. And so I think we really got to take that on, because that was a perspective I've never thought about until tonight. He didn't heal everybody, and so we have to think about that. Like, what are we trying to heal everybody? Does everybody truly need our attention? And is this a need of me, or is this a lesson from God?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to understand God's divine agenda. Like, what is on his divine agenda? And the only way we know that is when we spend time with him, when we reflect, when we read, and that's a perspective I just learned this year about God's divine agenda, because I was moving around with my agenda. And let me tell you, when you're on your own agenda, you are always burnt out.
Yeah, that's good. And we ain't got no questions, so I think you made it plain. My brother, do you have any last words for the people? Anything you want to give, or from the night that you want to tell the people out here?
Simply, I just want to say thank you for sharing this space with me, my dear brother and Sister Ponder. Wow, what a wealth of wisdom. Thank you so much for helping all of us. I was taking notes as well, and you have blessed me and you have blessed these people. So thank you. And this Therapy Thursdays, this is something that every ministry should be doing. So just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, brother, for coming on and being a part of this. It won't be the last time. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. And I really enjoyed the discussion tonight. And so, man, the people don't have no questions. So we're going to get out of here. So, brother, thank you. Sister, thank you. And I'm going to pray these people up out of here. We're going to keep it moving. So, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight for Therapy Tuesday. I pray that you got what you need. Watch the replay. Watch it again. Take some notes. Send it to some people. But remember, you don't have to always be the strong one. Put your boundaries in place. Say your no's. As the Bible says, let your yeses be yes and your no's be no's. Everything does not need your demand. And so we just pray that God will continue to bless you, shift you. As the song that was playing at the beginning, something has to shift. What is shifting in you? And sometimes we think that we have to give everything our attention, but God is calling us to be in a place of settle, and not settling for less, but just to settle your spirit, settle your mind for what God is doing, because some things you got to marinate in. I'm still marinating in our weekend that we had. And so just take a moment to settle and breathe. But Father, we just thank you for what you did on tonight. God, we ask that you touch those sons and daughters that are listening, God. Touch their hearts, their mind, their soul. Father, the one that has been carrying the burden. Father, as your word says, that we can cast all our cares on you. So, Father, allow us to cast the cares, oh God. Those that are tired, God, give them the strength, Father, for your word says, when we are weak, you are strong. And being weak is not a weakness to you, but it's a strength that we're relying fully on you. So, Father, allow us to lean fully on you. Allow us to understand what it is that you are doing in our life for this season. And God, I just ask that every burden, every heart, every grief that someone may be carrying, oh God, that you will give them the strength and the comfort to get through. You'll give them the endurance to survive. So, Father, we just thank you for what you're going to do in their lives and what you've done on tonight. Father, we just ask that you continue to do the work that you're doing in us. In Jesus Christ's mighty name, amen, amen. Also, y'all, for my brothers, y'all know it's Father's Day week. So tomorrow morning, we have our men's prayer call. So if you know some men that need it, they want to come out, tell them to hop on Zoom with us in the morning. They will be in for a treat for brothers to dwell together in unity. I'm excited about what God is doing. Also, y'all can join us for Bible study on Thursday. Pastor Shamira will be ministering the word, so I'm excited about that as we continue this series that we're on, the cost of transition. And so join us on Thursday, get a word, or if you need somewhere to worship on Sunday, come in person with us. We will be excited to have you. We love you. But guess what? God loves you so much more. Jesus loves you. And guess what? I need you to do me a favor real quick. Tell yourself that I love me. It's okay, I was tired. Hey, I may not have responded the best, but I want to take a moment to me. Give yourself grace as you move forward. It's okay, because God has already given you the grace. So we love you. We love you. God bless you. Have a great night. It may not be your favorite pastor, but I'm somebody's favorite somewhere. I love you. This is your brother Do Right, and I'm up out of here. God bless you.